Have you ever been talking to someone about the state of Utah and they say something that just doesn't seem right? And you may say, hey, wait a minute, I've never heard that. It doesn't sound right. Well, it happens all the time. After all, for a long time, Utah was pretty much unknown. It wasn't until the 2002 Winter Olympics that Utah really was put on the map, and it received a lot of attention pretty much from that time forward. So today, I'm going to cover some of those things that people say about the state of Utah that possibly is wrong. And hopefully you'll get a better understanding of what Utah is really like. So let's get after it right now. And welcome to the Living in Utah channel. I'm Mike Gallagher. I'm a local real estate agent. And if this is your first time to my channel and you want to learn everything about the state of Utah, come to the right place. You may consider tapping that subscribe button down below and hitting that bell notification. YouTube will send you an alert every time I release a new video, and that's every week. And apart from making videos, I also help people buy or sell real estate. So if I can be of any assistance, put my contact information on the screen. It'll also be down in the show notes. The first thing that people get wrong about the state of Utah, that everyone is religious. People call all the time and say, hey, Mike, I don't go to church. Am I going to be okay in Utah? Yes, you will be totally fine. And I understand why people have that view. If you visit the state of Utah, there are a lot of churches by a variety of religions. So if you move here, you may also have somebody knock on your door and wanting to talk about religion. And that's okay. There are people here that go to church and they are strong believers in their religion. But it doesn't mean that you have to be religious, and it doesn't mean that everyone in the state is religious. Many people are respectful about your beliefs as long as you stand up front and say, hey, that's not me. Many people will say that's fine. So no, you do not have to be religious to live here, and not everyone is religious. Coming in number 2, Utah is anti-government. This is absolutely not true. It seems like Utah, Idaho, and Wyoming gets in this same category. There is a rumor that spread that Utah is anti-government, and I think some of it comes because some of our loose gun laws, like our concealed carry permits. It's one of the easiest places in the United States to obtain a carry concealed permit, but Utahns love their law and order, and they love justice. What they don't love is government overreach and government corruption. But no, Utah is not anti-government. Coming in number 3 on my list, you have to be a Republican to live in Utah. That is not true. I know a lot of locals that wish it was true, but it's not true. We have a mix of Republicans, Democrats, independents. After all, do we want just one way of thinking? I don't. I like to have everybody's opinion, have some dialogue going on, and make Utah a better place. After all, that is the American way. But yes, we do have a lot of Republicans that live in the state, but you do not have to be a Republican to live here. Coming in number 4 on my list, Utah is the same everywhere you go. That is not true. The state is very, very different. The north is different from the south. But then again, the north and the south can be different from central Utah. Throughout the state of Utah, you'll find big mountains, lakes, forests, sand dunes, and many more areas. But let's say you go to northern Utah. It is very populated. Travel down to the southern part of the state, areas like Cedar City and St. George. They're also very populated. But then in the middle, central Utah, you will find many rural communities. There are many farming towns throughout central part of Utah. So if you plan on moving to the state of Utah, I'd recommend that you explore the differences between the northern part of the state and the southern part of the state, and also maybe central Utah. Coming in number 5 on the list, Utah has cheap properties. No, that is not true. Now, I wish it was true, but if you compare us to areas like New York, LA, Seattle, San Francisco, absolutely we have some cheap properties. But over the last 10 years, home prices in Utah have skyrocketed. Also, most of the United States has seen places that property values have just gone up also. So it's not just here in Utah. Now, it's still possible to find some cheap property in Utah, but you're going to have to travel outside the populated areas. Most of our rural communities still offer some great deals, but if you're looking at attaining a job in one of the areas like northern Utah, where most of the companies are located, it will be a very long commute. Coming in number 6 on the list, Utah is all rural. That is not true. The state is not full of small towns. We do have some rural small towns. Now, I'm not going to say there's none. There are areas in Utah, we do have some small towns, but for the most part, if you're traveling to southern Utah or to northern Utah, they are growing areas with millions of residents. Coming in at number 7 on my list, there's nothing to do in Utah, and I think that is false. I know when you live in the big cities like New York, Miami, LA, you could just throw a rock, hit a restaurant, hit a shopping center. And if you do come from a big city, you might think that there is nothing to do in Utah. But if you're a lover of the outdoors, it's a little bit different. And throughout the state, we have many trails. Probably thousands of miles of trails that you can take a dirt bike, ride a UTV, go hiking. You can even go in the mountains and go mountain biking and go hiking. You can also ride your UTV or ATV in some of the mountain areas. There's tons of lakes throughout the state to go fishing, boating, ride a jet ski. Then there's the winter sports. You can go skiing, snowboarding, snowmobile, ice fishing. And if you want to see a concert, a play, a sporting event, you can pop into Salt Lake City. College football, we have baseball, we have basketball, we have Major League Soccer, and a lot of performers come to the Salt Lake Valley. Coming at number 8, some people believe that outsiders are not welcome in the state. I think that is false in my opinion. Now, Utah does have a reputation for people who will put bumper stickers on their cars or posts on social media saying, go back to the state you came from, or visit Utah and then please leave. But the truth is, most of the people who live in the state of Utah once lived somewhere else. So maybe it's not a bad thing to have that reputation, because it keeps the kind of people that want to change Utah possibly from moving to the state. But on the other hand, it may have prevented some great people from making the move. So I will tell you, you will see some of those bumper stickers out there. But if you move here and you're a great person and you care about other people, I think you're going to be just fine. So in conclusion, that's some of my ideas. I'd love to know in the comments down below, what is your opinion about the subject matter? If you do have any kind of questions, by all means reach out to me. Glad to answer anything that I can. Until the next video, take care and stay safe.